Do you struggle with ongoing neck pain, even though you have tried stretching, massage, posture changes, and even new pillows? Do you notice your neck feels worse after stress, difficult conversations, or mentally demanding days rather than after exercise? And do you ever feel like your mind never truly switches off and your body is paying the price? Welcome back to our channel, where we talk about all things relating to anxiety and our mental well-being. In this video, we will be talking about neck pain and anxiety and why an overworked nervous system can sometimes create very real tension, stiffness and pain in the neck and shoulders. And if you're new here, my name is Jennifer Roblin. I'm an anxiety specialist and therapist and the founder of Better Your Life. We help people of all ages reduce anxiety, calm their thoughts and their nervous system, and feel more like themselves again. I have helped thousands of people, both online and in person, just like you, who look fine on the outside, but inside they feel tense, wired, and exhausted. And so many people come to us in physical pain, telling me their neck or their shoulders or their back hurts, and no one can tell them the reason why. So if you're thinking this sounds like you, stay with me to the end, because I'm going to give you 8 practical ways to calm your nervous system and ease neck tension. And when you have finished watching, of course, I have a free window of tolerance workbook waiting for you. Don't worry, I'll explain exactly what it is and how it will help you shortly. It is linked in the description and it is a brilliant starting point if you feel overwhelmed and do not know where to begin. But before we do dive in, I need to give you a quick note. This video is for education and support reasons only. It does not replace medical advice. If your pain is new, severe, follows an injury, comes with any numbness, weakness, fever, unexplained weight loss, or you're worried for any reason, please do speak to your GP or healthcare provider. It's always sensible to rule out physical causes first. What we're exploring today is what happens when scans are normal, tests are reassuring, and yet the pain keeps returning. Now let's start by understanding what anxiety actually is, because once we understand this, neck pain starts to make more sense. Most people think of anxiety as worry or nervousness, or they think about anxiety and panic attacks. But for many of us, anxiety is more subtle and more constant. It can look like being high functioning and coping. It can look like getting on with life. It can look like being the reliable one, but inside it's also that feeling of being on edge. It's the mind that never stops thinking. It's the body that never fully switches off. And it's that constant inner pressure to get things right, keep everyone happy, stay in control and manage everything. Now, anxiety is evolutionary. It's a response that occurs when the brain perceives ongoing pressure, threat, or unresolved certainty, and our nervous system responds to something is not safe. This automatic response was helpful back in the day when we were living in caves and we had to keep away from predators like tigers and wolves, or we had to go out hunting for food. It is not so helpful now. But the thing is, we're operating with Stone Age brains in a modern world, and our nervous system does not require physical danger to get on alert. It can be on high alert due to imagined pressure too. So that means you can be safe in your home, safe in your office, safe in your relationships and still feel anxious, because the threat is not always a tiger in the room. The threat might be responsibility. It might be an awkward conversation that you're avoiding with a work colleague. It might be the fear of letting someone down. It can be a workload that never seems to end, a to-do list that goes on and on. It might be trying to be perfect, perfectionism. It might be holding everything together. And it might be carrying grief, stress and pressure for years without a proper release. When our brain decides something needs attention, it sends signals through to our nervous system to prepare our body for action. Now, this sounds dramatic, right? I know, and it can feel that way too, but this is your survival system doing exactly what it is designed to do. The nervous system is the communication network between our mind and our body. When anxiety is present, this system shifts into a heightened alert state. It's hypervigilant. Our muscles tighten, our breathing changes, our posture subtly adapts. Sleep might become lighter, digestion can slow down, and the body starts to scan, to brace, to tense and prepare, often without our conscious awareness. Anxiety is designed to protect us in short, sharp bursts when we need it most. It's kept our ancestors safe for millions of years. But when our nervous system remains in a constant state of alert for too long, our body does not fully return to a calm state. When our body does not return to a calm state, it begins to show signs of strain. This is where physical symptoms come in. It could be tightness, stiffness, perhaps we're clenching our jaw, grinding our teeth. We get headaches, shoulder tension, digestive issues, feeling breathlessness, fatigue, dizziness, tingling sensations, and yes, neck pain. So if you have been told everything looks fine, but your body is still screaming out to you, it does not mean nothing is happening. It's most likely meaning that your nervous system is involved. Our nervous system has two different strands. We have our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight response. It's our anxiety response. And we also have our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxing response, our downtime. We call this rest and repair or rest and digest. And this is exactly where the window of tolerance comes in that I mentioned earlier. It is basically the zone where our nervous system feels steady and regulated. When we are inside our window of tolerance, our body softens and we can think clearly. When we drop outside of our window of tolerance, we go into fight and flight and we can feel shut down. And that is where symptoms like neck pain and tension tend to flare up. When anxiety is present, the nervous system activates our ancient automatic fight and flight survival response. It increases alertness and prepares us for action. Muscles tighten, breathing becomes quicker and shallower. Our heart rate may rise, our attention narrows, the front part of our brain shuts down because we don't need to be doing algebra when we're running away from a tiger. Basically, our body prioritises survival over comfort. So in the short term, this response can be useful. However, in the long term, it becomes exhausting and painful. It is worth just repeating here again that our nervous system does not always distinguish between real danger and a perceived threat. A tight deadline can trigger the fight and flight. A tense family relationship, a difficult email, a hard meeting, a conflict with a partner, a fear of being judged, that's a big one, fear of judgment, or replaying a conversation at 2 o'clock in the morning. It makes us feel trapped, we feel overwhelmed, and all of these can activate the same survival response. So what happens? Our body stays alert, ready to respond. And when the body stays ready, it stays tense. So you may be wondering, why did our neck take a hit so often? And this is because the neck and the shoulders are part of our protective system. When we brace or tense, we raise our shoulders, we tighten our upper back, we may clench our jaw, we press the tongue into the roof of our mouth, we might pull our head slightly forward, we hold our breath, we narrow our focus, and we might even be hunching over without realising. And over time, this creates a pattern of constant tension in the muscles around the neck, the shoulders, and the base of the skull. And when muscles are tense for long periods, they can become painful, they can become stiff, and they can become sensitive. They can create headaches, they can reduce movement, and they can create that feeling of heaviness, feeling really weighed down. Now, This is why telling yourself to relax isn't the solution. It doesn't work, because fight or flight is not logical, it's automatic. Our body has to be shown safety, not told safety. For many people, overthinking is the driver that keeps the body braced. Thoughts are not just in our head though, they have physical effects. When we replay conversations, anticipate what might go wrong, try to plan every possible outcome, or solve everything in advance of actually occurring, the brain is sending a message through our nervous system that something is wrong. Even if that threat is emotional or imagined, the body responds as if it has work to do, so our muscles tighten. This is why so many people notice patterns like neck tension during mentally demanding days, shoulders lifting without us realising, and our jaw clenching to hold emotion in. We might have pain after fatigue, decision fatigue, or emotional overload, increased stiffness after a stressful meeting, and feeling worse after sitting in our worry. It's not necessarily after we've been moving our body, after we've been doing anything strenuous. When overthinking becomes repetitive, it keeps the nervous system in constant activation. This interrupts our rest and our recovery. And eventually, tension becomes the default setting. You might not even notice that you're feeling tense until you actually get some pain. Now, I want you to just do a quick body check with me. You might not realise exactly what's going on, so just take a moment to think, where are your shoulders? Have they crept up? What is your jaw doing? Is it clenched? Where is your tongue? What's the position of your tongue? Is it pressed up to the roof of your mouth? If you're not sure, just try peeling it away and relaxing it and notice the difference. Most people are surprised when they notice that their body has been bracing quietly all day, every day. So how do we tell if your neck pain might be anxiety related? Again, we'll just reinforce here, medical checks matter. So if this is new, severe or worrying, please do speak to your GP or healthcare provider. But if you've been checked out and reassured and the pain keeps returning, these are clues that your nervous system may well be involved. You might recognise anxiety-related neck pain if it flares during stress, conflict, or mental overload. Or maybe it improves when you go away on holiday and have a calmer week, when you have the opportunity to relax, and then it returns, or perhaps it even feels worse after worrying. It comes with, like I said, jaw clenching, headaches, shallow breathing, or sleep disruption. Do you notice if it shifts around from your neck to your shoulders, to your head? Or maybe it's paired with feelings of being wired and on edge or unable to switch off. If physical treatments help briefly, but the tension pattern returns, then it's most likely anxiety related. We recognise that the pain is real. However, if the pain is not limited to the body alone, it is our nervous system keeping the muscles in a guarded pattern. And this is why physical approaches can help, but they do not always last. Now, I'm a fan of massage. It feels amazing. Stretching can help. Posture changes can support you. Even a new pillow can help. But if the nervous system is still in fight or flight, the body keeps returning to the same tense, braced position. So one client of ours noticed that her neck pain spiked after meetings. She would finish a business call and then realise her shoulders were up near her ears. Her neck would throb, and she would say to me, "But the meeting was fine, nothing bad happened." When we explored it further, she realised that she was actually holding her breath in meetings. She was clenching her jaw. She was rehearsing responses in her head while other people were speaking. She was scanning for how she was going to come across to others. She didn't want to be judged. Her body was preparing for threat every day, even though she looked calm on the outside. Another client described waking up with stiffness and a heavy ache at the base of her skull. She assumed it was her pillow, but she also went to bed scrolling, worrying, solving, and planning for every possible eventuality that could go wrong the following day. Her mind never switched off, so her body never relaxed. The nervous system stayed on alert all night. Once we supported her to settle her anxiety and settle before bed and feel safer in her body, her morning pain began to reduce. Now, these are not unusual stories. This is high functioning anxiety showing up physically. Anxiety related pain can happen at any age, but midlife often makes it harder to ignore. Now, by this stage, many of us are carrying higher responsibilities. We have increased responsibilities at work, possibly at home. We may have increased the mental load in our relationships. We may be having caregiving responsibilities for children, teenagers, or even elderly parents. Perhaps we have less sleep now and less time to recover. Potentially add into that mix hormonal shifts and years of pushing on through without proper downshifting of our emotions, our feelings. Many people tell me that they have been coping for years, and they have. They have achieved, they have supported others, they have stayed productive, they have kept going. And then our body starts to protest. Neck pain becomes an alarm bell. It is our body's way of communicating with us. Now, as anxiety tension rarely stays in one place, I just want to run through a few other areas you might feel tension. Many people do focus on the neck because it's painful and often where they feel it first, but the body often stores stress in several of its favourite places. You might notice it in your neck and the base of your skull. There's a heavy ache, a tight band where the head meets your neck. You might feel stiffness when you turn your head and you have a reluctance to move. It doesn't feel free. You might notice the tension is in your shoulders and your upper back. Perhaps you're experiencing tightness across the shoulders, aching between the shoulder blades, and that feeling of being weighed down. Perhaps you notice it in the jaw and face, clenching, grinding our teeth at night, tension in the temples, pressure in our forehead. Perhaps you notice it in the head and the scalp, that headband type tightness, that pressure behind the eyes, tension, headaches. Or even in the chest and the rib cage. Maybe you feel a tightness across the chest. You notice that you're breathing shallowly. You're feeling unable to take a deep, satisfying breath. Or you might notice it in your back, with a dull ache that feels worse after emotional strain, stiffness that comes and goes. Or even in your legs. Maybe you have restless legs at night, twitchy, jittery limbs that won't keep still. It's very frustrating. Heavy legs, a feeling you cannot settle. If you recognise yourself here, don't worry unnecessarily. It doesn't mean something is seriously wrong. It just means that your nervous system is responding to anxiety. So if you want help spotting your early warning signs and what pushes you outside that calm zone, do download the free Window of Tolerance workbook linked over in the description and below. It will help you connect the dots between stress, your nervous system state, and the tension you feel in your neck, jaw, shoulders, chest, wherever it is. Now, as promised, here are 8 different ways to support your nervous system at home so that your body can soften and relax. These aren't quick fixes and they're not a substitute for anxiety therapy, but they can help you start to feel relief and start to break the cycle of constant tension. And as you listen, I invite you to choose just 1 or 2 to try this week. That is how we create change. It's not by doing everything at once, but just doing 1 or 2 things and keep being consistent. So, strategy number 1, notice unconscious bracing. Most people are unaware of how much tension they carry throughout the day. Your shoulders creep up, your jaw tightens, your neck becomes rigid, perhaps you're holding your breath. I suggest setting a reminder twice a day, morning and afternoon is ideal. And when the alarm goes off, just ask yourself, what is my jaw doing? Where are my shoulders right now? Is my tongue pressed up to the roof of my mouth? Am I holding my breath? Maybe notice if your head is slightly forward. When you recognise things, we can drop the shoulders, unclench the jaw, let the tongue rest and exhale fully. Quite often we think that we can't get a breath in, but actually we need to empty our lungs first, and it's the long exhale that sends signals to your nervous system that it's calm. I know this sounds simple, but it is powerful because you are stimulating the vagus nerve and teaching the nervous system that it can release tension. Strategy number 2, breathing that signals safety. When anxiety is present, breathing often becomes shallow and fast. That keeps the stress response active, so we want breathing that tells the nervous system we are safe. So I invite you to just try this for 2 minutes. Breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. And then breathe out through your nose for the count of 6. Keep that exhale gentle and you don't need to force it. Longer exhales activate the calming branch of the nervous system, and you may begin to notice that your shoulders drop by just the 3rd or 4th breath. Strategy number 3, widen your vision. When anxiety is high, our vision narrows. We have to focus on the danger. So this is when the brain is scanning for a threat. By widening our visual field, it's a simple way to shift state and tell our nervous system that everything's okay. So the easiest way to do this is to pick a point in front of you, any point, keep your head still and look straight ahead. Then gently notice what you can see to the left and the right of you, above and below you, without moving your head, so keep your vision exactly where it is. Now stay with that for 30 seconds and you should be able to see the ceiling above you, maybe your lap or the floor below you, and what's either side of you. That helps you know that you've gone into peripheral vision. Another way is just wiggling your fingers next to your eyes, and if you can see your fingers, then you know you're in peripheral vision. Many people feel an immediate softening in the shoulders and neck because the nervous system shifts out of threat scanning. Strategy number 4, take a nervous system friendly screen break. If you're one of these people like me, I spend a lot of time on screens talking to people. This can be one of the best things that you can do. Once an hour, take a 20-second reset. Look away from the screen, ideally out of a window. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, let your tongue rest, and take one slow breath out. This is not about posture perfection, it's about interrupting the stress response state. Strategy number 5, gentle neck softening movements. When our neck is tense, forcing big stretches can sometimes create more resistance. The body can tighten to protect us, so instead we want to go for slow and small movements. Start by turning your head slightly to the left and then back to the centre, slightly to the right and back to the centre, slightly down, back to the centre, and slightly up and back to the centre. So it doesn't need to be big movements. Gentle here is the key. If you want to, you can also add shoulder rolls very gently, but only if it feels soothing. Don't try and force anything. Strategy number 6 is getting your thoughts out of our head. Overthinking keeps fight and flight active. So we reduce the mental load by moving thoughts out of our mind and onto paper. Take 2 minutes and write down, what is the worry that you're experiencing now? What is the fear underneath that worry? What would feel supportive right now? And what is one small thing you can do today? You're not trying to solve everything. You're helping the nervous system feel less trapped. We also have a workbook over in the description. It's called Journaling Questions to Reduce Anxiety. And it comes with full instructions. If you want more variety of different questions to ask yourself, just pop on over to the description and download that. It's totally free. Strategy number 7, build a relaxing evening routine. We don't want to go to bed stressed. So if your body has been bracing all day, it needs some cues that the day is ending. Choose a simple sequence that you repeat most evenings. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent and predictable so your body knows that rest is coming. You may want to choose to dim the lights. Avoid news or scrolling for the last 30 minutes. Make yourself a warm drink. Put on some calming music or read a calming book. Take a slow walk around the house, the street, the garden. 2 minutes of the breathing we did earlier and then to bed. Predictability builds safety and safety reduces tension. Strategy number 8, grounding and safe connection. The nervous system settles through signals of safety, and one of the biggest signals is connection. That might be a short chat with someone who feels safe to you. It might be sitting with a pet, stroking a pet. It might be putting one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and feeling your breath connecting with yourself. You can also ground through your 5 senses. So if we were to name 5 things that you can see right now, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste right now. This brings your body, your brain, right back into the present moment, and it tells your brain that you're here now and you are safe. Now, before we go any further, if you have found even just one of those strategies helpful, please do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications. It helps us reach more and more people who are quietly struggling with anxiety and tension, and it means you will not miss out on any of our future videos. And remember, you don't need to struggle alone. I would also love to hear from you in the comments below because it helps others feel less alone too. Which of the 8 strategies are you going to try first? And where do you hold tension most? Is it your neck, your shoulders, your jaw? I'd love to hear. I can then do a video on wherever it is that most people are feeling the tension. Most neck pain approaches focus on the body alone, but when anxiety is part of the pattern, lasting change comes from addressing the mind-body loop that keeps the nervous system activated. This is where anxiety therapy can be life-changing because we're not just working with muscles, we're working with the underlying drivers that keeps the body tense. At Better Your Life, we support clients both online and in person to reduce overthinking, release the deeper causes beneath the anxiety, and teach the nervous system how to come out of survival mode. When the nervous system settles, muscles soften, sleep improves, the body stops bracing and tensing, and physical symptoms often ease because the body is no longer stuck on high alert. If you want a simple next step, like I said, download the free Window of Tolerance workbook over in the description. And if you're feeling overwhelmed right now and unsure where to start, then the Circle of Control and Influence workbook is the best first step. You've also got an anxious thoughts diary. There's lots over there that you can just help yourself to. And if you are tired of managing symptoms that keep returning and you want personalised support, you can book a free, no obligation consultation call using the link in the description. We will talk through what you are experiencing and help you understand the best next step for you. So your neck is not betraying you. Your body is not broken. Your nervous system has been working really hard to protect you for a long time. And when we support our nervous system to feel safer, our body can begin to soften and relief is possible. You don't need to struggle alone. Now is the right time to take back control of your life and free yourself from those anxious thoughts. Take care and thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Bye for now.